Today, I'm here to share with you the third part of our probate series where we're talking about how to close probate. Hi, I'm Claire at the Yanowitz Law Firm, where we've been helping families with wills, trusts, and probate for the last 29 years. So, you know you're ready to close probate when you've collected all the assets, you've paid all the bills of the deceased person, you've filed all the income tax returns needed. So you oftentimes need to file a tax return for the time period in which the deceased person was living during their last year of life. So let's say they died March 2nd, you have to file an income tax return from January 1st to March 2nd. But then sometimes after death, income is earned by their investments. So starting March 3rd, maybe there's a dividend earned or something like that. You might also need to file an estate income tax return, not an estate tax return, an estate income tax return, money earned by the estate after death. Okay. So that return needs to be filed. So if you've taken care of all these things, collecting assets, paying the debts, filing the taxes, distributing out all the property, then you know it's ready to close probate. And there are two different ways to close probate. One is informally, and the second is formally. And informally, there are no additional hearings, okay? As the personal representative simply signs a statement that, they have administered the estate and it's time to close. So it's very easy peasy and hands off. So that's great because it keeps legal fees down and there's less to do. But on the other hand, it does not protect the personal representative in the event they did something wrong or something later were to pop up. So some people will opt to close formally, and in some instances, you have to close formally. Okay, and formal closing provides protection in the event something later happens that's unanticipated. Because in a formal closing, the court reviews what the personal representative did and approves it, okay? So in a formal closing of probate, you have to submit what's called a final account to the court, okay? With an informal closing, you're still supposed to prepare a final account, but you don't actually have to submit it to the court, okay? And the final account essentially is kind of like, I think of kind of like balancing your checkbook. It says, okay, this is all the assets that came into the estate. These are all the bills we paid. And this is all the property that we transferred out of the estate to the beneficiary. So it kind of itemizes what went in and out of the estate during the administration. So it creates a layer of transparency so that the beneficiaries can see, who got paid for what, why, and when. Okay. And also the value of all the assets of the estate. Okay. And so that gets filed with the court in a formal closing, and the court has discretion to have a hearing on the final account. Sometimes we'll try and get, the beneficiaries to consent to the final account. And if they consent, the court is probably less likely to require a hearing than if people don't consent, but it's still within their range of discretion. They can decide what they want to do. So you prepare this final account, and then the court signs an order approving the final account, either after a hearing or without. And then once that gets done, you want to prepare documents to discharge the personal representative and close probate, which could be a third hearing, oftentimes isn't, but that is further documentation saying that, all the assets have been paid to the beneficiaries. When the property gets distributed to the beneficiaries, you can have them sign receipts that they received payment. Those can be filed with the court. And then the court will sign the order to discharge the personal representative. And at that point, you are done with the administration. That's a question I get asked a lot. When are we going to be done? It's when the court signs the order to discharge the personal representative. So thank you for your attention on this very important matter. If you're interested in learning more about estate planning or more about what happens when a loved one passes away, feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel to be kept abreast when we add more videos to our channel. Thank you.